Hey there, hero. It's David H. Lawrence, the 17th, and I really hope this doesn't rile you up as much as it has riled some people. Um, I'm a big proponent of creating your own content, not waiting for somebody to give you permission to work on their project, but to actually create your own project and be your own best client. We teach a whole course on it in the VO Heroes curriculum. And we also place, sort of horizontally across the curriculum, information on how to use the art, the commerce, the science, the mindset to create your own content all throughout the whole course work. And I have helped many times clients, people who aren't clients, just friends or people that I've met in the business fund their projects on many different sites. I even built a crowdfunding site for a project that we did called You and Charlie Woo way back in the long before crowdfunding was a thing. We created a site where people could contribute to the project, and we raised about $4,000 toward the $22,000 budget of the film. So I'm not unfamiliar with crowdfunding. And I'm also not unfamiliar with union activities. I'm very active in SAG-AFTRA. I serve on several committees. I'm a past national chairman of the New Technology Committee, which doesn't exist anymore, but they're talking about bringing it back. Anyway, I'm really active, and I am active despite the fact that I'm, a hardcore capitalist entrepreneur, because performers in particular have had a history of being taken advantage of by producers because it's easy to do. I remember the very first project I worked on when I came to Los Angeles back in 2003 was a non-union. I wasn't in the union yet. It was a non-union film that I had a call time for, I think it was 8:30 at night, and all set and ready to go. Supposed to be on set at 9:30. And it wasn't until 11 o'clock the next morning, not that night, but the next morning, with me hanging out, waiting, trying to stay awake, not knowing when the scene was going to. I mean, it was just crazy. And then I had to leave because I had an audition at noon, and the director was screaming at me that I'd never work again and all, whatever. But it taught me the values, showed me very clearly and illustrated the values that aren't present when you're allowed to treat creative types poorly. And I'd been an AFTRA member for a long time. Well, all of that aside, crowdfunding can happen on many different platforms. Certainly GoFundMe, IndieGoGo, which we used to partially fund the rebuild of Rehearsal Pro a few years ago. And then there's Kickstarter. And that's usually what people think of, Kickstarter, when they take a look at ways to crowdfund. Well, I've got some things to share with you. Kickstarter's CEO is absolutely adamant that he does not want his workforce unionized. And not only is he against it, but he fired 2 workers this past week and made no bones about the fact that he fired them because they were organizing possible union activities. They were working, and he even said in a statement, if those 2 employees decide to complain to the National Labor Relations Board, this is so arrogant, that they'll be facing Kickstarter's lawyers. And I've asked my entertainment attorney whether or not it's even legal to fire employees simply for expressing their desire to organize a union and present it to a vote to the workers. I can't do anything about the fact that those people were fired. I can commiserate with them. But here's what I can do. I am never going to, as long as Kickstarter is anti-union, I am never going to contribute to another project on Kickstarter again. And I'm also going to urge you not to do so either. I'm going to proselytize against them. This is about people's livelihood. This is about safety. This is about working conditions. This is about being able to enjoy a work-life balance. And when you work for a digital startup, you should know that in general, they are very much against unions. It's one of the things that I hate about the digital space is that for all the talk that they give about being people-oriented and advanced and very, very, good to their employees, and many of them are when it comes to compensation. But when it comes to demands about their time and their time off, sometimes they take advantage, and it isn't necessary in all cases. I don't think you're going to find people at Google or Apple or Facebook wanting to unionize because they've got it great. But when you look at the people that work for some of the other startups that really grind people for 60, 80 hours a week in terms of work, they want some relief. So what I suggest you do is do what we did. And if you're going to do a crowdfunded project, if you're going to create your own content and you're going to crowdfund it, choose IndieGoGo for now. Now, I am investigating whether or not IndieGoGo feels the same way. I haven't seen anything on the web that indicates that that's the case. Also, haven't seen that about GoFundMe and some of the other crowdsourcing sites. But what I suggest you do, if you want to support me and my mission to help the people at the workers at Kickstarter, is to not fund or create projects that are on Kickstarter or that you want to get going. Use another platform. Now, I realize that there are already people caught in the middle. They've already got projects on Kickstarter, and this possibly could blunt their ability to even collect the money that they've raised so far. I get that, and I wish there was some reasonable middle ground. Maybe you could, not cancel the pledges that you've made already to projects on Kickstarter. But when it comes to new projects, or when it comes to things that you're thinking about, and encourage your fellow actor and your fellow producer to not fund on Kickstarter either. There's no advantage. I think IndieGoGo is a better deal anyway. They're the ones that came up with Flexible, which Kickstarter copied, meaning you didn't have to hit your goal to get your money. You could choose to get whatever money you could get, which I think in some cases is an advantage. But in general, I think it's time to say goodbye to Kickstarter, and that's what I'm doing. I would love to know what you think. I would love to know what your libertarian or conservative or liberal or union forward or union bashing comments are. I don't demonize people for how they feel about this. I just know what I feel, and I know what I want to suggest that you consider as a goal. But let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. If you want to go online, you can Google the whole concept of Kickstarter Union CEO, and I believe his name is Aziz, but you'll see in a very blunt statement this past week, he's like basically F you to the union, the idea of unionization. All right, so that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to be on our list, there's another box below the comment box that says get on the list. We'd love to tell you when these videos come out. They're coming out every day for the rest of the year. It's my challenge this year to do a new video that hopefully is useful to you as a performer every single day. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.